Hey everyone, in this FC24 How to Buy Players Ultimate Team video, I'm going to show you exactly that. I'm also going to help you figure out how you can get the player at the best possible price. So there's a couple of ways you can buy players in the game. You can buy players kind of quite blindly by going over to the store and buying packs of players. So we get into the store here and you can buy various packs that will give you various players. So for example, this is a preview pack on the classic one here, and you can preview these every sort of 24 hours or so. And if we have, actually, if I just move me to the left hand side, 21 hours, 27 minutes until I can preview it again. So if we have a little look at this one, jump into it, this one I can see exactly what players I would get on this particular pack. So if I was interested in that lot for 7,500 coins or 150 FIFA points, I could buy the pack. Personally, I don't think that pack is particularly worth it. The players aren't quite that high enough to justify that cost, in my opinion. So we're going back out of here. Your other one is complete lucky dips, where you can go for classic packs and all these sort of things. And you know, they are literally lucky dip, so I'll tell you the chances of getting stuff in these. So this particular one, the premium gold pack, if you look down the bottom, press the right stick, it'll tell you the chances of getting a 75 plus player, 82 plus, 84 plus. So that's one way, but it is blind. So you're probably more interested in buying players from the transfer market, but maybe you don't know how it works. So that's what we're going to have a little look at. So before we do that, let's have a little look at my club and see what would improve my team. So we'll go to club, we'll go to squad, and this is my current squad here. So I can see my left back is my lowest rated player at the minute. Right back's also a little bit low. So we could have a little think about what we need for the team to improve the overall rating. So while we're looking at this mode, the other thing you could do is move your right stick over so you have a little look at other things, because if we're thinking about the chemistry, what would probably help this team is to look for a Premier League player, so English 1 team. That would go quite well. So you can see we've got lots of those. And whether we could get anyone with a sort of similar nationality may help as well, or a similar club, so maybe a Liverpool player, because we've got quite a few Liverpool players there. So let's see what we can get and see whether we've got enough money to do that as well. So what I've done here is I can move from squad to transfer market, and that comes up to this area, so you can do that. I'll just show you the other way as well, because if we were on the root menu of Ultimate Team back here, you can also access transfer market here. So I've just right buttoned over to it. We jump into it with a transfer market, search the market, and then we're in the same screen. So the way this works is there are many different ways to use all of these filters to find what you want to buy. If you're just happy to see what is on the market now, you can just hit search. Down the bottom right hand side, we've got the search button. So for me, that's Y, and this will show me every player that's currently listed, whoever's expiring soonest. So we can see Felix here is expiring in 25 seconds. Now, the start price for this player is 650. The current bid, so people have bid on it, and it's currently going for 4,600. The buy it now is 100,000. So someone is currently going to get Felix for 4,600 coins. So not a bad deal. So if we go along, sometimes you will see some of these are not worth it. So a 78 rated player, you can see nobody's bid at all with the starting bid at 800. So it's arguably a little bit too expensive. 76 player, and now we've expired, so I need to move across a little bit. So if we just move across a little bit more, you can also use LBRB to flick between blocks of players. But obviously with all players listed here, this is quite hard to navigate. So let's go back and talk about how we can use those filters to narrow down to something that we want. So down the bottom, you see B for back, that'll be circle on the PlayStation. And here you've got all of these filters to filter down to things that may interest you. And I'm going to flick between some of these here. So league is a very useful one. So we could go league and select it with A, or whatever button shows down the bottom left for you. And in my case, I'm going to look at the Premier League. So I will select this one. And when we're looking at the Premier League, this will now say, okay, I'll show you all players from the Premier League when you click search. But I may want to narrow that down further. So I could also go and say, look, I'm interested in club, and I want you to look at Liverpool. So that's because I've got a few Liverpool players in the team. So I'm now interested in that. And the other thing I could do is say, I haven't got much money. Check it out, 3290. So I'm asking some here. I want a Liverpool player at less than 3290. So I could go to my pricing here and say, look, max price, I am poor. So, you know, I've got 3,000, man. 3,000 is all I've got. Well, 3,200. Don't tell them that, though. Just try and rip me off. So this is the auction price here. So I selected it with A, and then I'm using my left stick to move between them, and then the right stick to up the price here. You can also jump up with left trigger, right trigger, or left button, right button, or whatever button showed down the bottom. So right button jumps up by small increments, right trigger goes up to the top or the bottom. So yeah, it's up to you whether you want to use those. So in my case, because I've got such a puny amount, I'm going to manually use the D-pad to press into the right to up this to 3,000. So what this is saying is, look, I'm happy to look at anything where the auction is up to 3,000 and the buy it now is up to 3,000. I could leave the buy it now down at nothing and see whether we get lucky. So because if the buy it now is 3,000, but the bid is like, sorry, if the buy it now is like at 15 million, but they're only going for 3,000, you might get a bargain. So in this case, I'm going to get rid of that one. So I'll left trigger that and then come out of this with B. That would be circle on the PlayStation. And now we have these 3 active filters. So we've got club, league, and pricing. So when we're happy with that, we hit the search button down the bottom right, left-hand side, Y to search. And when we're on here, check it out. We could get Endo. So 41 seconds, 600 price. That seems like a pretty good deal to me. So we're going to drill in and see whether that's worth it. Jones, we could get at 550. That's not a bad price as well. We could get Thiago at 1100. That seems like reasonable. But I'm going to show you how you then take that a little bit better. So we've got McAllister here, and we're running out of time here. We could get Matip, 8 rated player. Not bad, man. So I might go for one of these. So I might go for, let me think. I do like Curtis Jones. I think he's a good lad. We've got our new boy Endo, but I'm probably going to settle on Jones. Okay, so you can see, look at that, 400 for Jones. What a bargain! But is it the cheapest? So let's go back out and see. So we're back out. Okay, so let's narrow this down to Curtis Jones. So on the name, what we'll do is select this with A, and then we'll type in the name Jones, Jon, and this is intelligent. You can see the players are being listed below. And now we've found Curtis Jones. It will also find all these other players as well, but in my case I want Curtis Jones. So that's the one we're going to go for. So we'll select, and we're all good. So that will find him, and what we're looking for is to see what's the cheapest that we could possibly get him for. So I'm going to set the pricing down to 300 and see whether we can get him at that. So let's have a little look. So 300, loads of players listed at 300, so not a problem to get this player nice and cheap. So you can see some cheeky people are putting the buy now at the default of 5,000, which you're not going to get. So we see lots of people start price 300, buy it now 400, 500. So we're getting a good idea there that we should be able to pick up Jones for 300, no problem, if we want to place a bid. The other thing we could do is just change that there and just see what's the cheapest we could get him on buy now. So I'll just try that. Can't get him at that. Could get him at 350 just buy now. So that's easy, and you can see people are listing for 51 minutes for that price. So, but I'm just going to be cheeky, and as there's so many, I'm just going to change that again to 300 on the minimum price there, and then search. And there we go. So 44 seconds to wait for the player at 300. So I'll bid at 300, and I'm pretty confident that we'll win him at 300. So we just need to wait for 30 seconds now for that to expire. And if it's got a tick on it, you can see that we are winning that bid. Now, if you're doing this lots with lots of different players, if you come back out and come back out again, what you've got is the transfer list area and the transfer targets area. So what I've done here, if we go to the root menu, right button over to transfers, and select that with A or X on the PlayStation, right button, so that's R1 on the PlayStation, to transfer targets. And then I'm hitting A to view transfer targets. So I've had lots of players going on. I could see what's going on here. You can see we're winning it, We've won it. So we've got Curtis Jones for 300 coins. Bargain. So we'll just let that process. And it'll take a little while. And what we should see if we come back out of here is on our transfer targets when it's sorted itself. Oh, it might be on transfer. Yeah, it should be on transfer targets. Let's see. There we go. So he's sorted. We've won him. And here we can now assign him. So down the bottom, you see it says assign all. So right trigger for me. I can now assign him and say I want him in my team. So we'll just go here and we'll say confirm items for right trigger. Or I could quick sell him with left trigger, or I could list him on the transfer market if I wanted. So he's not worth that much, so I'm just going to confirm this item. and he is now in my team. Happy days. So we've got Curtis Jones for 300 coins. If we just go and have a little look at the club again, I'm just going to show you another way of, kind of selling, buying. So on the route menu, the other thing I want to show you is if you want to find a particular position to replace in your club. So we could go to club here, select it with enter with A, and then again to go into the squad. And I could use my squad here to automatically pick a position to have a little look on the transfer market. So let's say this left back, if we want to have a little look if we can get a stronger player here in terms of rating, we could select them with A. And then down the bottom you see we've got LB to go to market or RB to go to club. So if I go to market, you can see that the LB position has been filled in, and then I can narrow this down. So I can say, look at the Premier League for me, and this is my max price that I've got to play with, but I want to drill this down. So let's say I only want to spend, I don't know, 1200 max. So we'll do that, and then we will search. These are the players that we could put in there that in theory would improve slightly. The other thing you can see is a quick idea of rating. So you can see we've got 75 versus 78, so that's a little bit of an improvement. So if we went with Henry or Malacia, he's pretty quick. Well, Henry's faster though, isn't he? He says 78. So you just want to have a little look here and just see whether you can find anyone else that will, whether you prefer anyone else. So I'm going to say Henry looks good. So we're going to go and just drill down to Henry and see whether that makes sense. So I'm going to narrow down to Henry. So I've gone back here with B, and then I'm used the filter here to add Henry. And there we go. And he was, I think, was he that guy? Is he Henry? No, he wasn't that guy. So we'll find Henry. And I think he's that one, is he? There he is. So Rico Henry. And we could then narrow down the max price and see what we can get him for. So if we go aggressive at that, still fine. So we'll go search and we'll go again. Still fine. Nothing at that. So we'll up that price a little bit. 500? Nope. So I'm just using Y to flick between them. 600, we've got people bidding, that's ability there of 600 looks like you could get him for that. So I could either place a bid like we did before, or if I'm in a rush, I could, whoops, I've gone to the wrong thing there. So let's go again. I'll come back here and I will use a buy it now here just to show you the difference. So we'll say, look, can I get him at say 600? No. Can I get him at 650? No. 700? No. 750. So you can see nobody is listing the buy it now at a low price. That's the cheapest, 850. So we could buy him at that, or in this case, what I think is better to do is to go with that auction again. So we'd go at the 600, clear that one, and then search. And I personally would put in a bid at this and see whether we would get him for the 600. So I'll put the bid in there. So you can see somebody's bid that on that one. So I'll bid on this one. So actions, bid. Yes. So looks like I missed that one. We'll do this one then. So we'll go actions, bid. And I'm holding down the A button here. Do I want to place a bid? Yes. And you can see we've got a bid going on that player now. So we need to wait 3 minutes to see whether we win that player. But you get the idea. So that's what we do. And then we build up the team that way. So there you go, my friends. That's how to buy players in EA FC 24. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, please. Much appreciated. Any comments welcome, whether that's a simple thanks for the video or a question about it, or you've got other questions about FC 24, or you want to tell me about the game or life in general. I really don't mind. So hit me up with a comment. It helps YouTube know that the video is good and engaging. So thank you for doing that if you've got the time to do it. I'll also put up some tutorials at the end of here to help you with other aspects of the game, and that will grow over the current year of FC 24. FC24. So if you want to be kept up to date, do hit that subscribe. I don't just cover FC24, but many other games as well. So have a little look around the channel. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe. Thanks so much.